Okay, so we are live. Hi, everybody. My name is Manan Puri, and I'm the co-founder of Strategy for GMAT. Uh, we've been covering new B schools that have launched in India or about to launch over the past few sessions. And today, I am with Mr. Sanjay Singh. He is from Mahindra University School of Management. Mahindra University, after launching their BBA and Executive MBA programs, has started or will start their MBA program this year. The applications are already open, and it's a 2-year MBA program. And in this session, we will talk about what the school is looking for, what is the vision of the school in terms of how it's seeing students and what kind of students they are looking for as part of the program, and more importantly, the potential for you as an aspirant, and should you join the first batch, for instance. And so Sanjay sir is joining us from Cornell, and where he is with the EMBA cohort. And during the session, maybe he can walk around and show us the campus as well while we continue our session. So thank you, sir, for joining. Would you mind, giving us a quick introduction about you?
Yeah, thank you, Manan, for having me. And first of all, you may hear some background noises, and I did not come equipped here for a webinar, so you may see different angles. I may lower the phone sometimes because my hands may get tired. But
Sure,
I will try to also walk around. But to
sure.
give you a brief introduction, my name is Sanjay Singh. I am a professor in the area of strategy at the School of Management in Mahindra University. And I'm also the program head for the executive MBA and the full-time MBA program here. Before moving to Mahindra University, I worked for close to 17 years with the ISB, the Indian School of Business. And before ISB, I had worked with the National University of Singapore with their business school, which is known as the NUS Business School. So I have spent more than a couple of decades in academic institutions, and now in this role, I am fully involved with launching high quality programs at the School of Management here at Mahindra University.
Great. With respect to this program, there's a lot of information right now on the website which people can go and look at. Outside of that, and that's my favorite question that I ask everybody from any school, that what is that one or two areas where you think that's the value prop that is not covered in your marketing materials or discussions, etc., that you would like the viewers to know about?
Well, madam, I think most of the things the people do mention in brief in our brochures and website, but I think the real value is in trying to dig a little bit deeper into some of these areas, which is something I always recommend to prospective MBA applicants, and not just for Mahindra University, but for any school that they are interested in. And I think there would be probably, let me start with two things which are extremely important. And one is that we have not really tom-tommed about our the Mahindra brand, that we bring to the table. And there is a lot of credibility that the Mahindra Group brings, especially because they are led by Mr. Anand Mahindra, who also is the Chancellor of Mahindra University. But it's a group which has been known for its good business values. It is also a group which is known for its extremely high aspirations. And those are some of the things which are transferred to the university because we are a part of the same group. So we have great aspirations. We want to be, and we believe we are already, very high quality institution. In terms of our visibility, it is a little bit low because we are an infant, in this space, because we barely be completing 2 years uh, in June. So, in that sense, there may be people who may not really be aware about us, but we bring very high quality experience and programs to to the Indian subcontinent. So that is clearly one thing. The second is, the quality of our faculty. So while people may see, maybe their photographs on our website or in the brochure, but that really doesn't give you an idea of, their quality. Now, this is something which has to be experienced in person, and we are happy if, some of the prospective applicants, should they wish to come to our campus, attend maybe an hour or so in the classroom, we'll be happy to facilitate that. But our faculty uh, have had their education from some of the top institutions across the world, including US and some of the top institutions in India. So they come with a great pedigree. Our dean, Professor Velamuri, has worked in two of the top 10 business schools in the world, ESA in Spain and SEEDS in China. He brings that international experience and expertise to the School of Management. He also brings this experience in terms of hiring high quality faculty. And just to share with you, in the initial phase, we hired only 10 faculty out of 200 applications which were received. So that is speaks highly of our strict selection criteria for our faculty members as well. So I think those would be the two key uh, strengths which perhaps may not be highlighted that much in our marketing material, which I wanted to speak to you about.
Great. Thanks for that. And I think faculty would definitely play an important part considering there are no alums yet, etc. So I'm sure they're bringing their collective business school experiences to the program. So let's talk about the admissions process in terms of one, if you can just quickly run down in terms of the steps that are there. And then later on, we can cover about the criteria in terms of, what exactly are you looking for in a particular set of candidates.
Well, so in terms of the eligibility, we require our applicants to have a bachelor's degree, but they can still apply if they are in the final semester of their undergraduate program. And they will be given a conditional offer, but once we have the final mark sheet and their certificate, the offer will be confirmed. So a bachelor's degree is required, and standardized test scores are required, and there are three standardized tests that we accept. We accept the GMAT, we accept GRE, and we also accept CAT. So currently, these are the only three standardized tests that we accept. And work experience is not mandatory for applying to this, but we highly encourage people with some work experience to also apply to the program. It is not just meant for freshers. In fact, even currently, the applications we are receiving, we have a fair amount of applications which we are receiving from people who are currently working in organizations. So we would highly recommend that if you have work experience, please feel free to apply, and we would really value work experience on your resume. So
Got
that's
it.
the
Got it.
eligibility. Now, eligibility is very different from selection, right? So this barely is the criteria which is used for being eligible to apply. But when we are shortlisting students for our program, there are many things that we look out for. One of them is, for example, communication skills. And communication skills are extremely important when we go on to work in organizations, because typically we will be working in teams. We have to communicate up, we have to communicate down, and therefore it is extremely important that we are clear in our communication. Now, often people also see that as people who have flair in their communication. Yes, that is an advantage, but it is not the only thing in communication. So it needs to be grammatically correct. It needs to be put in a way that the recipient understands in the same way that I want the message to be conveyed. Right. So that is the crux of communication. Then, flair, diction, pronunciation, all these things are embellishments, which are good to have, but the foundation is extremely important. So we are definitely looking at good communication skills. We are also looking at good analytical abilities because again, when you are in an MBA program, you will need that as a part of the curriculum. You will also need it when you go on to work because a lot of work that you will be given in entry level positions will require a lot of analytical ability. So we are trying to analyze the analytical abilities of our applicants. We also look for uh, a certain degree of maturity. While we understand that a lot of them are fairly young, uh, but today's generation is absolutely smart and brilliant, and a lot of them bring a lot of maturity to to their personality. This is something that we highly value because when one is taking managerial decisions, one cannot be impulsive, and mature head is something which is highly valued in organizations for when they are looking at their employees. We are also looking at managerial and leadership potential. So again, at a young age, sometimes this is not something that a lot of people have been able to demonstrate to a large extent. But then there could be certain elements in their journey of life so far, which are indicative of good leadership and managerial abilities. And these are some of the things we urge our applicants to highlight as a part of their interview process, as a part of the written application. In fact, sometimes people ask this question, how will you assess some of these things? Well, so we assess these things as a part of the essays that we require our students to write. So there is one written essay that they have to submit as a part of their application, and we also require them to record a video essay. So we have given these topics in our online application. So when they record the video essay, we view that video essay and we make assessments about their communication abilities, maturity, how are they you know uh, have they structured their thought process well. So we are looking at some of these things through the video essays and the written essays. And of course, we are also looking at a good academic record because ultimately, uh, to succeed in and do well in an MBA program, there will be, it is it's an academically rigorous program. So we do want that our students should have a good academic track record. So these are some of the things that we look out for in our students.
Right, right. Thanks for that. And good call to have a video essay in the era of Chat GPT. So, in terms of test scores, few people were asking about. Are there any ranges that you're looking at, CAT, GMAT, GRE, or something in mind in terms of let's say quote unquote a minimum score because everybody is asking around that.
Yeah, yeah. So this is a typical question. We don't have a defined cutoff.
Hmm.
We are evaluating the profile of the applicant in completeness, and the standardized test score is just one part of their personality or their ability. While we don't have a cutoff, we do, as is the case with every school, right? We would like to look at people who have the best scores amongst the lot, which applies to us, right? So there isn't a cutoff, but obviously, if you want your chances to be better, your scores have to be better than the others as well, because ultimately it's a competitive selection process. So if we have 100 seats in the program, and if we have 1,000 applicants, then obviously the best 100 will make it. But how we define best 100 is a combination of their standardized test scores, their past academic record, how well have they written their essays, how well do they perform in the interview. So it's a combination of all these things. What is their richness of the work experience if they have work experience? Have they indulged in some extracurricular activities? How has that uh, in, changed them as individuals or added value to them, as individuals? So we look at the overall profile of the candidate, and then we will, make a decision to select them. So there isn't a hard cutoff that I can cite for you. But obviously, I mean, in a relative process, higher scores will
The better.
benefit more than a lower score. Yeah.
Right. Right. Makes sense. Makes sense. And what's the batch size that you're looking at?
Yeah, let me just move out. There are a lot of people who have come in. There is a lot of chatter.
Sure.
So
Yeah, let's
let me just
let's
move out.
see the
Yeah.
Cornell campus then. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how much you will be able to see, but yeah, yeah. And unfortunately, it's been raining, but right now it has stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, could you repeat the question,
What
Manan?
is the batch size? What is the batch size that you're
Yeah.
looking at?
So we are again. This is not a hard number that we have kept in mind, but it will be a small batch size. We don't want to uh, go in after numbers, because we are very clear that if we know that we can deliver quality education to X number of students, we don't want to admit to X, because there are two aspects to education, right? So one, high quality education. One is the quality of students that we admit, and also the classroom experience that we are able to give to them. And currently, we have a smaller infrastructure. Our new building construction is starting, and once that new building has come up, we will increase our intake. Currently, we are looking at 30 to 60 students, somewhere between that. But we don't mind going with a lower number, but a high quality class, because we are not an institution which is focused on generating revenues out of this program. So we are a not-for-profit institution in the truest sense, and in that sense, we are not really focused on that. We X number of students to break it.
Got it. Got it. Your voice is a bit
Yeah,
patchy
yeah.
right now. If you can hear me. Yeah, so, see,
Oh,
from an MBA
should I
perspective,
move
a lot
back?
of
Maybe
people.
maybe the Wi-Fi signals here are. Yeah. Let me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Manan, let me just move back. To you.
Sure.
Yeah, because they have this hotel on campus, and there were lots of people checking in and checking out. So there was a noise. Is this
Okay.
better now?
Yeah, I think your voice is fine. Your video is frozen. We can continue, I guess.
Yeah.
So, with respect to an MBA
I'll
program,
move back. So don't worry. I'll move back. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So with respect to an MBA
Yeah.
program, people usually look for diversity in the class in terms of the network that you develop, so to speak, going forward from there, plus an alumni network.
Yeah.
And right now, the alumni network is not there. And considering the fact that you're having a sub 60 batch size, do you think that angle would be impacted in terms of a holistic learning that one would look at from an MBA program?
Well, so the answer is yes and no, right? And in terms of the impact, which sometimes people say that because the numbers are low, what kind of a network will I develop? So there are two parts to that. One is the number of people you have in your network, and the other is the quality of the network you have, right? And I have worked at ISB, and Manan, I know you are an alumnus of ISB. There are 900 students there. It is impossible to have a network with all 900. You can't just imagine, having all 900 people as your friends. So typically what happens is that, one section, which is 60, 70 students, they have a great bonding amongst themselves. And that is the quality network that you will have. And therefore, to your question, why I said yes and no, this is the no part, that, the sheer numbers are not necessarily going to define the quality of the network. Number one, it is the quality which matters more. But having said that, where it is yes is that with numbers, if you are from the same cohort, even if you reach out to people in the cohort, you may not know them extremely well, but the chances that you will get a response and they are likely to help you will be higher. So therefore, yes, a smaller number to some extent uh, leads to lower number of people in your network. So in that sense, it is not considered great. But the two benefits of a smaller cohort is the quality of your network is extremely strong. The second part is that and especially that given that we are a new school, with a smaller number of students, we will be able to offer them higher quality placements, right? Which would make it difficult if we are a new school and if we admit 1,000 students, then getting them great quality placements becomes a slightly steeple task. So in that sense, I think it is beneficial for students because with a lower number of students, they are likely to get better roles, better salaries. This is what we are, was our thought process when we said we will have a smaller intake.
Mm, right, right. And I think the wider university environment will also play a part, considering you're on campus with a school of engineering, a school of law, etc. So there are parallel opportunities that you can look at to interact with people.
No, absolutely. In fact, one of the things that in fact, it adds to the first question that you asked is how the fact that we are a university based business school rather than a standalone business school is a great advantage because in today's world, organizations are looking for people with a wide variety of skills. And in a university based business school, our students will have a chance to even take modules from our School of Engineering, for example, or a School of Law. If they want to do some business law courses, the School of Law, we would definitely encourage that. So, in terms of their breadth of knowledge, they will gain a lot more breadth of knowledge, and also their network will not be limited just to the students in their class. So outside of the classroom, they will also build a network with engineering students, our PhD students which are there on campus, our faculty which are from other schools of engineering, law, education. So the quality of network will be further enhanced, and so will the numbers. And as we grow, our alumni base will grow, and then also the strength in terms of the number you have in your network will grow.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. And you talked about offering good placements in general. So, what is the vision right now? I know it's difficult to kind of predict what the numbers would be, etc. But what are the input metrics and processes that you're putting in place with respect to placements? Because that's one greatest ROI, at least from a student perspective, that they look at.
Yeah, yeah. So there are two parts to it, right? So one is that I have always maintained that students who chase placements, I have, in my experience, I have seen that uh, they may not get the best outcome. But students who are chasing learning will get the best placements. Because what is a recruiter looking at, right? A recruiter will look at, do you have the capability to perform in that role? And if your focus is on good quality learning, which is what we are offering, good placements are a natural outcome of that, right? In terms of processes that we are already in the process of hiring. We already have some people in our career services office. We are in the process of boosting that team. So we will have, enhanced team, career services team, even before our classes begin for the MBA program. So we are very conscious of the fact that ultimately it and a good MBA program should lead to a good career, and we are completely aware and working in that direction. Also, given the fact that we are new, we the effort that we put in for getting good placements for our students will be much higher than established players because we have to carve out a name for ourselves, and therefore the kind of effort that we have to put in will be much more uh, than a school which is running in a steady state. We will go all out to offer the best to our graduating class.
Got it. All right. So, and in terms of, there's a question on the chat. Are there international immersion opportunities or exchange programs that we're looking at?
Well, the program includes a 1 week international immersion, and it will we will decide on the location in consultation with the students. But we have certain destinations in mind, and when the class comes in, we will talk to them. But the intent is to offer them a good experience of industry visits, guest speakers, cultural immersion, so that we give make them sensitive to global issues, and in a true sense, give them exposure to what it would be like to be a global manager. Because at some stage, when people start growing, they will be required to manage geographies which are other than one's own country. So that is the intent. It is included in the 2 year curriculum that we have.
Right. And what about internship opportunities? Could you, shed some light around that?
Well, that's a part of career services in any case. So internship opportunities will be offered between the first and second year, and our career services team, and that's why we want the career services team to an enhanced career services team to be there before the students come in, so that they can start working with them from day one on internship opportunity. Then there will be a lot of learning and development activity also which will be undertaken. So which will include writing resumes. How do you write a good resume? Personality development workshops. We will also be looking at interviewing, mock interview sessions, etc. as well, to prepare them for the internship selection process as well. So that will start from day one.
Right. And, there was a question in the form when we had registered. So, will Mahindra University's MBA program also be eligible, or would they participate in the B school competitions that are there, like HUL Lime, or Marico over the wall, L'Oreal brand, Storm, etc., etc.?
No, absolutely, because a lot of these are initiatives of the students itself. The university will provide all the support which is needed, for students. So there are many competitions which happen nationally and internationally. And if I'm not wrong, I mean, a couple of months back, we were also a part of the Hult Prize, which is a very famous competition which happens. So all those opportunities will be provided.
Right, right. And continuing on the placements front, you've talked about the legacy from the Mahindra group that is coming in, right? Um, if I talk about the BBA results in terms of placements or internships that have happened, is there a large number that is coming in from Mahindra Group, or let's say there is a trust that other areas or the other groups or companies have established, because there might be a concentration risk there as well, right?
Well, I think it's a brilliant question, and we are very mindful of the fact. If you look at our BBA internships, all of them have come from non-Mahindra companies. So we are very conscious that we have to offer our students a wide variety of choice when it comes to placements. It should not be limited to Mahindra Group companies. I mean, Mahindra Group companies will obviously be keen to hire from us, but that doesn't mean we have to restrict the choice for our students to only Mahindra Group companies, right? So if they want Mahindra Group companies, they will of course be extremely keen. But we are very conscious that we have to offer them a wider choice, and our career services team is working in that direction already.
Got it. Got it. Um, let's step back and talk about the wider vision. There are a number of B schools that are established. There are a few that are coming in, or they're new right now. Where do you want to position yourself? Are we competing with, let's say, an ISB, which has minimum 2 years of experience? Are we competing with eventually the IM 1 year programs or 2 year programs? Are we competing with the likes of MDI or quote unquote the baby IMs, etc.? So where do you want to position Mahindra School of Management's MBA program from a student perspective. If I'm looking at options that are there for me, where do I
Okay.
compare these apples?
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah. No, I think another great question. First response is we don't compare ourselves to anybody else. I think there is space for different kinds of business schools. What we, how we are positioning ourselves is that we are differentiated by way of our curriculum. And how are we differentiated? Because we are, our curriculum is designed to cater to the new age economy where a lot of or not a lot, I would say, in fact, every organization now runs on a digital backbone. And it is extremely important for managers of tomorrow to be able to understand and leverage technology for the benefit of the organization. And that is where our entire curriculum, if you even if you look at our specializations, we are offering a specialization in digital business, we are offering a specialization in business analytics, and our finance specialization also has a lot of content on fintech and things like that. So that is where I think we differentiate ourselves. And like I said, I mean, it's not a comparison. It's not about positioning ourselves versus one school or the other. In fact, contrary to popular belief, a lot of academic institutions actually collaborate with each other. So we, it's more in the mind of the applicant to see that these schools compete with each other. But honestly, there is a lot of collaboration which happens behind the scene. And all we can say is that this is what we have to offer. If this is something which appeals to the candidate, then you should come to us. If you feel that there is another school which is offering something which is more appealing to you, you should go there. But our value proposition is extremely clear. We are preparing you for tomorrow, and tomorrow will be digitally led. So when you are looking at your future career, your growth prospects, we feel that this will be one of the best opportunities that you will get amongst all the MBA programs which exist in the country today.
great, great, good to know. I asked the question to the dean as well. In the video that I had done earlier when I was on campus. Given the fact that there is a lot of focus on tech and digital going on, people are, at least from a money standpoint, they're making enough money that they would do without an MBA as well. Plus, a number of roles or companies also are not requiring for an MBA as a minimum criteria. Do you see the relevance of MBA going down in general?
Well, I don't think so. Uh, the reason being that, when you are looking at programs of this nature, so let's see, I mean, you have people who do an engineering degree, there are people who may do a law degree, there are people who do medicine, right? So they are able to do extremely well in that particular domain. But as you grow in seniority, your span of control increases and you are required to take decisions which go beyond the the expertise that one has from the past education. And I'll give you an example, a simple example which will illustrate this point. So somebody who's done a medicine degree, and I have seen a lot of my executive MBA students and even full-time MBA students in ISB, and you would have seen that too, Manan, have been doctors, right? So why would a doctor come and do an MBA program? Because they know how to treat patients, right? But then when you have to run and manage a hospital, then you need to understand, how do you generate finances for that? Are you efficiently managing your financial resources? How do you sell your or market your services, right? How do you manage your human resources in that organization, right? Uh, how do you ensure that all the stakeholders and your shareholders, their interests are taken care of? So that knowledge extends beyond the knowledge that they gain while they are doing their medicine program. And therefore, I don't think, the relevance of an MBA is going to go down. In fact, as businesses become more and more complex, in fact, a wider knowledge will become even more essential. Now, what some people are saying is, yeah, maybe, instead of doing 2 years at a stretch, people may break it down into modules. Now that is up for debate. That may happen, but I think it is extremely critical for a person who wants to manage an organization to have the wider knowledge of all functional areas.
Correct, correct, correct. Makes sense. And I think there's still a relevance from a perspective of at least a changing thinking that you that brings overall a perspective, and more importantly, in the network and diversity, which is at least from a student perspective that I've gone through, that's the best ROI that at least I have from an MBA program that I had. The concepts have become obsolete, frankly, but majorly it's more the network and the thought process that has come out from the program. Final couple of questions. One, will there be scholarships for students?
Absolutely. We will have scholarship for students, and students who do well in our selection criteria, we will offer scholarships. In fact, we are going beyond that. We have thought of a very exciting, proposition for our incoming class, which is that we are not just going to dole out money. We will actually offer them teaching assistantship and research assistantship roles. So not only does it allow them to earn money while they are doing these roles, but extremely importantly, it they will gain a lot in terms of their knowledge and skill set when they do these performs. I mean, you may have heard the saying that the best way to learn is to teach, right? So when they are teaching assistants, they are taking tutorials for our BBA students. They will mature, as great learners, as great teachers, and they will become even more valuable in the job market. So this is something which again is a very unique thing that we are doing, and I don't think this is being done, by many schools in the country. So this will be a great opportunity for some of them to actually leverage on this, and look at Mahindra University seriously for their MBA program because of this offering that we have.
No, I think that's pretty interesting, and especially for people who want to continue within academia as well and maybe do PhD later, it will be a very very good opportunity for them.
Yeah, but not just that, Manan. Even if you are going into a corporate role, right? This is something which is highly valued because it trains you how to research, and when you go into an entry level role, what is it? A business analyst, right? You have to do a lot of research, right? Similarly, it helps you improve your communication abilities if you are a teaching assistant. So there are benefits which accrue, which are not relevant just if you want to have a career in academia. If you want a career in corporate life, these skills will be extremely beneficial as well.
Makes sense. So final thoughts from you in terms of what is the message that you would want to give out to the applicants, and especially I, for a lack of a better term, using the term underdogs right now, at least in the MBA world. So what is the message that you would want the viewers to take away about the program, about the school, as they look at their career going forward?
Well, so one thing clearly is that uh, people who dare to do things first are always remembered, right? So you will not remember people who were, I mean, a person who was the 100% to climb Everest, but you will know the person who did it first. So the pioneer, the founding intake is very, very special for any school. And these are people who are, to some extent, risk takers, but it is a calculated risk, right? Because you are putting your money on a trusted brand, so you cannot go wrong. At the same time, because you are the founding class, the school will go all out to ensure that uh, they see them, with the best of success that they can offer, right? So I would say, you know, take that risk, dare to be different, be the pioneers, and we will live up to your expectations.
Right. Great, great. Thank you so much for taking out time and speaking to us from your trip and with at least on the Cornell campus. First of all, thanks for that, and I would wish you all the best for the program and for the viewers. In case you need to know more, we are just putting the link to the program's website there, and you can feel free to reach out to their team, and I'm sure they'll be able to answer all the queries that you might have. The people that have spoken with them, I've kind of interacted with them, and they have pretty good reviews, at least about the conversation. Whether or not they choose to join the program is a separate thing, but a conversation definitely helped in terms of gaining clarity in terms of what they want. So think of it as like a career counseling session, and go for that chat. All right. Thank you so much, and have a good rest of the evening and safe travels to you, sir, while you come back from US to India.
Yeah, no, thank you, Manan, for again having me. And I would like to reiterate, as Manan said, if there is anything that me or my team can do to help you make a good, sound decision, we'll be happy to offer you that information, which will help you formulate your thoughts further. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, and have a great day, all of you.
Thank you.